Welcome back to the Mathematical University Brothers in the building. How you feeling? How you feeling? We broadcasting live on YouTube and only on Instagram. Both of my YouTube channels and only my Instagram. I hope everybody's feeling well. I hope everybody's doing well out there. Big up to all of you watching right now on Instagram. If you could hear me clearly, put the number one in the chat. If you could hear me clearly on YouTube, put the number one in the chat. And remember, please like, subscribe, and share. The topic is I don't know from a numerovational perspective. Those words, a lot of people with the negative portion of their egos sometimes don't want to say the word I don't know. And there's a lot of meaning. There's a spiritual meaning behind the word I don't know. I even have some online researches on this thing too. So we're going to touch on it today, and I'm going to share the link to the online research so y'all can get it for yourself if you want to read the whole thing. I'm going to give you the spiritual perspective of the words I don't know. Why it's all right to say it and why you shouldn't be afraid to say it, because it's opening you up to learn more when you say I don't know. A lot of people are afraid to do that. When I don't know something, believe me, I'm going to say I don't know. Yes, so family, welcome to the numerovational perspective of the words I don't know. Don't be afraid. I want everybody to take a deep breath. Let's play the music. Let me turn up the music a little bit. Take a deep breath because we're all going to relax. Deep breath inwards. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Don't be deep for people who are ego-driven, who wants to have the answer to everything. Don't be deep for y'all. So hold on to your seatbelt. Make sure you buckle yourself in tight. Let yourself down. And if you have somebody next to you that don't understand, and not willing to understand or understand, when the breathing apparatus falls down, you make sure you secure yourself first. And then secure the person next to you, like they say on the airplane and the airline. I am your stewardess, but I am also your captain for this ride into the words I don't know. Yes, so I hope everybody took a deep breath, and we're about to do a nice little deep dive. Not going to stay up here too long. I want to big up everybody that's tuning in right now. So Sylvia Traymore, Sylvia T. Morrison in the building on Instagram. Fly Girl is in the building. Vavzina is in the building. Joanne is in the building. Fresh Limes in the building. Younger is in the building. Browning is in the building. Dr. Bombay is in the building. Sophia Blue is in the building. Merkaba 616 is in the building. Black Mofo is in the building. And let's see that's on Instagram. Let's see who's on YouTube. Oh yeah, we got Sekhmet Fire in the building. Marie is in the building. Of course, Dorothy is in the building. Jerry Nelson in the building. Many people coming in. Remember, please like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share with at least 5 people. And you can share it with those ego-driven people that are afraid to say, I don't know. I'm very, very leery nowadays. Very, very leery about people that say they know everything. Very, very leery about people who say no. Nowadays, I'm very, very leery. You really can't know everything. Some of you don't even know how many hair follicles is on your arm. Just this portion of your arm. Matter of fact, on your hand. Some of you don't even know that, but you don't know everything. I don't know everything. I don't know everything about the numbers. I'm just diving in from different perspectives. That's why this is called King Simon Presents the Numerovational Perspective. That's why King Simon calls this the numerovational perspective. Yes, it is a perspective. And I want to give all of you a well-deserved round of applause for coming on. Give yourselves a round of applause. I want to give all of you a well-deserved round of applause. Big up to Stoked Culture. Big up to Love Lifted Me Poetry. Big up to Catrice. All of y'all tuning in. Thank y'all very much for coming in and being part of. Thank you very much for coming in and being a part of the journey. Thank y'all very much for coming in and being a part of the journey. Thank you very much. I am appreciative of every time that I get before you. I'm appreciative of every one of you out there. Before we get into work, real quick, I won't be here too long, but I must be strong. So probably be an hour. I'll be up here, probably 45 minutes to an hour. Just want to remind people that tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, we're always a day away. All right, tomorrow on Wednesday. First of all, I got to say happy birthday to a dear friend of mine that I've known for over 40 years now. Her name is Katrina Thomas Maitland. Katrina Thomas Maitland. Today is her birthday. Today is also Beverly Carlton's birthday. Happy birthday to Beverly, wherever she is right now in her travels. And big up to her brother. Happy birthday to Teddy P. You got what I want. Yes, you do. You, yeah. You. Since you came to the door. Happy birthday to Teddy B. Teddy B says, you can't hide from yourself. Well, anywhere you go, hey, there you are. Anywhere you go, there you are. I use that in my session. So Teddy P is a part of my numerovational perspective also. Because when I'm trying to open people up to their numerovational value, whether you choose to walk the path or not, numbers is not, don't want you to be numbing yourself because of the word numbers. It doesn't want you to numb yourself or hesitate because the word in another portion of language means to hesitate. So we don't want you to numb or hesitate yourself. But those numerals that opens the pathway, because the word numero adds up to a master number 11, which allows all of us to bring the spiritual and the physical equilibrium of who and what we are and take us to the next level if we're willing to spiral on the pathway, spiral up and not be locked in. Some people think that numbers or astrology is here to lock you in, or cosmology is, or any cosmology is here to lock you in. No, on the contrary, my friends, it is here to allow you that, to let you know that you can either spiral down in your numbers, in your astrology, in your cosmophysics, and whatever you're doing in your cardology, or you could spiral up, or you could be complacent and comfortable. So every pattern, cycle, and sequences is supposed to take you and lift you higher to the next level of your life. If you're willing to open up to that. If you're willing to open up to it. Big up to everybody that's up in the building on Instagram. Please like, subscribe, and share like it's scrolling on the bottom. Don't be afraid to spread no love, spread no Cash App or PayPal love. Don't be afraid to do it. It's here on the screen. This is a machine. We pay for things. We pay for all of this, that all the bells and whistles has to be paid for. So I love when I'm doing what I got to do. And I love when I'm circulating what I got to circulate, and I'm circulating information. A lot of people are afraid of saying the words, I don't know, especially if you're on the negative aspect of your ego, because ego is both positive and negative. You could be, when you learn to say, I don't know, that's when you're etching God. You're etching God. You're either etching, when you learn to say, I don't know, you're enhancing God's originality in you. When you can't feel that you can't say I don't know, then you're etching God's power out of you. Ego. The acronym for me is either you're etching God out or etching your greatness out, or you're enhancing the greatness and your great originality, or enhancing your guiding originality. So ego means something to me totally different to other people. So people like to say the ego, the ego, the ego. We need the ego, the positive aspect of the ego. We need the ego because it's the ego that allowed me to get up this morning to brush my teeth, wash my face, wash my assets if it has to happen. It's the ego that gets you up to go out every morning to go and work and do what you do. That's the ego. The ego allows you to come back into this body to come and see another day so you can rewrite a new testimonial every day. It's the ego. But the negative ego is something that sometimes holds us back and hold us down and keep us unaware of our growing parts of who we are to take us to the next level of our life. So you see, in the celebrity world, they got all kinds of ego-driven stuff that happened. It's the ego that made P. Diddy do what he does. It's the ego, in actuality, that got people like Tupac in trouble. People like Suge Knight in trouble. The negative ego. Let me say that. Let's clarify. It's negative ego and positive ego. It's negative and positive in everything that's like the yin and the yang, the duality. Because look, the positive stay out of negative way and negative stay out of positive way. It does what it does. It's just energy. But if you look at the yin and yang symbol, if on its flow, it's not even touching. They're just engaging with each other in a constant natural flow. That's all yin and yang. If that's why when you're doing touch hands with your partner, it's either you're yielding and submitting, you're yielding, you're giving and you're taking, giving and taking. It's a natural flow when you're doing touching hands with each other in Tai Chi or Qigong. So it's important that we understand the importance of saying, yes, I do know, or I don't know, but I'm focusing on the I don't know. And when I don't know, I will say, I don't know. I'll say, I'm keeping it simple because I don't know the intricacies of something or the scientific methodologies of something. I will say that, but I know how to use numbers to reveal where it can go to be intricate or not intricate. So before I move on, just want to let everybody know that this coming Wednesday, there's 2 shows happening on 2 different platforms. I will be with Billy Carson on his new platform called, this new YouTube channel called Tupac Remix Vault. And we'll be breaking down the numbers connected to Tupac in various ways. Because I was one who did security for Tupac for a short time. It was just 24 to 48 hours. That was my stint with Tupac. Met him, was in the hospital room with him, went to the courthouse, met celebrities. I met Jada Pinkett Smith over there. I met his mom, Afeni. I met Tretch. I met a lot of people along the journey. So I was a part of that journey for 24 to 48 hours of doing security from the first hospital to the secret location to the other hospital. I was there. I can actually say that because when the Nation of Islam was in full swing with the security company, X-Men Security, we were commissioned to do the security for Tupac Shakur. Yes, I was a part of that team, and I was in an 8 personal year cycle that year too. That was around 94. I was in an 8 personal year cycle, I believe, around that time. Yes, I was in an 8 personal year cycle. So I was so happy to get that money because they paid us good. Tupac's people, they paid us good. The lawyer and everybody that wanted to remove all the regular security because he didn't know who to trust, they called the Nation of Islam and that security team. You'll see myself, Brother Arthur was there. Brother Assad, may he rest in peace. Brother Wayne, late great Brother Wayne was there. Anthony Muhammad, who's our chief advisor and instructor. The lawyer, Afeni was there. I was at the front moving. That's why if you don't see me in any of the pictures around the courtroom, it's because I'm standing near the camera guy, so I'm on the side, so he's not taking pictures of me. I'm moving and trying to keep him moving back because he's moving back. I'm moving him and keeping him moving and staying out of the picture because I didn't want no pictures taken of me. I was moving. So out of the car, into the cars, going to Jada Pickett's, not Jada Pickett's house. We went to Jasmine Guy's house. If y'all know, he stayed with Jasmine Guy. So we're going to talk about that on this show tomorrow, Wednesday, on the new Tupac remix Vault with Billy Carson. We're going to break down that. I know he's going to come from his perspective because him and Tupac, I believe, is born the same year. Tupac and Billy is born the same year. And then after that, I have his wife will be on with me and Carrie Ann Ingram, the recipe to elevated consciousness with Elizabeth Carson. Got a nice flow to it. So make sure y'all come out and enjoy that. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be good tomorrow. We're going to have a double head on 2 different stations. All right. Whew. Man, may the words of my mouth, from my mouth, and the meditation of my heart be constantly respectful for thee, O creative force within me. You know, the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be respectful in what I'm about to do here. And I hope I do not offend anyone that thinks they know every darn thing. And if you think you know everything, then you don't need to be on this show today, because I'm going to be dropping the numerovational perspective of the words I don't know. And my spirit was drawn to do that this morning as I was working out, or about to work out and go run on the treadmill I have, because it's a little rainy outside, run on the treadmill. I was trying to figure out something, and I said, I don't know, but I said, I am willing to learn, because that word, I don't know, opens me up. As you're going to see, you see 44, you see 41, you're going to see a whole bunch of numbers around it. I don't know. And when you're dealing with the I principle, you're dealing with a 9, which the letter I in the Pythagorean system is a number 9, which deals with a higher level of creativity, because when you present that I anywhere, it sets you apart of what is to come after it. That's why I am is so important, or I allow is so important. That is the 9 frequency in the Pythagorean, but in the Chaldean, it's a number 1 frequency, which is the individual aspect of the I, the individual perspective of the I. Why I am this, or I am that, or I do this, or I do that. The 9 and the 1 are synonymous with each other, because 9 and 1 are fire energy according to certain systems of numerology. So it's an assertive energy when you said, I do this, and I did this, and I that. That is an assertive energy already, just the letter I. So when you said, I do this, instead of saying we did this or us, that's the single digit assertive energy of that sentence, which begins with the I. So anytime you put I in front of anything, you're asserting yourself. There's a direction. There's a higher heights that you could climb, but if you could go down the negative of the number 9 or the number 1, and you could be into an argument, because the argumentative numbers in numerology, according to the studies, 9, 8, 3, and 1 are on the totem pole, on the last part of the totem pole. And it could be, it could be 4, it could be 7, depends, but 4 and 7 love to stay in their own head. But definitely, as I've been studying and dealing with people and relationships, I noticed that 9 and 8, and then 1, and then 3, not 1. Although 3 can be jovial, because they talk too much and get into reckless thing, it can draw them. And because number 1 and 9 can say things, be direct about what they say what they mean what they say, it could also spark arguments. So if you have a lot of 9 and 1s in your numerical scope or in your name, yeah, you could be drawing a lot of arguments and a lot of contentions or debates. Thus, check out the major debate channel, Sonetta TV. Big up to my brother Sonetta, born April the 6th. But if you add that 4 plus the 6, his alignment number is a number 10, which is the one of the argumentative numbers, and he's born under the sign of Aries, and Aries is connected to the number 9, the war sign, the war energy. And so also connected to Scorpions. So Scorpions could be argumentative too when they don't get what they want. I was married to a Scorpion, you know what I'm saying? They can get into their arguments. They can run their mouth and get all loud because that 9 energy. And people connected to the 1, like the Leo or the Aquarius, can be argumentative if things aren't bad. But Aquarius has the 1 after the 4, but Leo has the 1 and then the 4. So yes, Leo, if people are not serving them and being respectful of them and their highness and who they are, oh yeah, they'll get into some arguments too. Thus, Brother Polite was great at his debating. He was born on the 10th and he was a Leo. Go figure that one out. And Umar Johnson is a Leo. Go figure that one out. People like James Baldwin was a Leo. Great at debating too. Figure that one out. Malcolm X was born on the 19th, 1 and 9. Great at debating. Figure that one out. Dr. Khalid, born in the first month, January, but he was born January the 12th. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Another form of good debating and argumentative numbers. Able to handle those arguments just from watching the perspective, even in the conscious community or the quote unquote conscious or conscientious community. That's what I like to call them now. Those that they come here to do some right thing, do some good. That's the conscientious community. The conscious community, whatever. I'm not a part of the conscious community. I'm part of the conscientious community because I want to do what's right for myself, my people, and keep it moving, and family. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it. So let's keep it moving. Those that are tuned in and locked in, let's say tuned in and locked in, family. Share, share, share. Share, share, share. You know what I'm saying? Share, share, share. And if you're connected to those numbers or signs that I said, you could attract it too. But remember, the higher levels of those numbers is where you need to take. 9 deals with higher levels of love, understanding, connection. Number 1 deals with higher levels of creativity and circulation and movement and paradigm shifting. But if you attract the negative of those numbers, because everything has duality. So you might be connected to the 9 or the 1 and don't like to be argued with or don't like to argue, but also it depends on the other numbers that might be in your chart too. You might have a lot of 6s. You might have a lot of 2s that don't like to argue. Definitely 2s. Some 7s and 4s, they keep their mind, they keep quiet and listen. You know, sometimes they stay in their own head, talking to themselves, arguing with themselves. It can happen. That's how deep numbers is for you to pay attention to the pattern cycle sequences of these numbers and how they roll in your name and in words that we have. So getting to the point. Woo! Man, like I said on top of that board, we are the sum total of all of our experiences. Not just those we enjoy remembering. That was said by Ruth Dreher in 1990. She's the author of that book that I show y'all a lot. And that book is called The Language of Life, Numerology, The Language of Life. She said that in her book in 1990. I say this because the I don't know principle or concept or words. I'm going to share screen right now real quick. If you don't mind, I'm going to share screen. I'm going to share screen. And there are spiritual meanings about the word I don't know. And I'm going to come straight from this particular website called Spiritual Awakening Process. Big up to Spiritual Awakening Process. Yes, big up to Spiritual Awakening Process. The many meanings of I don't know. If you want to get this website, I'm going to put this website in the chat. You could read all of it. I'm not going to read everything that's on there, but I'm going to read some of it before we get into the numbers breakdown. Boom. All right, so I'm going to put it in chat. I'm going to put it in the chat. Bang and boom. So I put it in the chat. I'm going to put it in the chat of Instagram also. I'm going to put this in the chat of Instagram also. So you got to be careful of attracting argument. Be very careful. Now, What does this website say about what I'm saying here? It says, it goes on to say, it says, I don't know is such a fascinating phrase. It has so many uses, some good, some bad. We use it in so many different scenarios to express different things, and at times it can offer some profound statement of truth that it makes our brains swirl. But I think it's important to begin to pay attention to how you use it. There are all kinds of sayings about learning to know what you don't know. And of course, it's a very powerful thing to know what you truly know, what you truly understand. And furthermore, it's a big issue when you don't know that you don't know. You know? So, several underlining uses of I don't know. Below are a couple of the core reasons we say these three particular words. Number one, lack of information. Number two, avoidance of doing something that feels difficult. Number three, statement of truth. Number four, avoidance of your obligation to yourself. Interesting. All of them have significant meanings. And I just put that, if you want to read the whole thing, releasing. Then it says step one, releasing and relaxing your mind. Step two, humility and living within the unknown. Number three, claiming your knowing. Number four, allowing your knowing to emerge. Number five, the balance of the known and unknown. And that is it. So I want y'all to go to the website and read it. I'm just showing you a perspective right now of what it is and what it means from their perspective. Not trying to do too much with it, but I just put that website in the, if you want to read all of it. So just in case you want to improve or hear somebody or guide people on why it's important, even your children, you know, they need to understand why sometimes it's important to say in class, teacher, I don't know. Can you explain that to me? Or if you're in your college, if you're in middle school, if you're public school, whatever, be willing to raise your hand and say, I don't know, because not only will it help others to learn, but it also allows you to open up to learn. And that word allow has the double L, which is the 33, which is the 6. That is the educational number. That is the number that will allow you to open up and be enthusiastic about learning. The word allow has that number 33 in it. So, the spiritual journey of the word I don't know can be a powerful mantra, according to online studies, especially for those who are trying to let go of the need to know everything. Let me say that again. In a spiritual journey, I don't know can be a powerful mantra, especially for those who are trying to let go of the need to know everything. It's a reminder of the uncertainty and the unpredictability of life and the vastness of the universe that is beyond our comprehension. It can also be a call to embrace humility, openness, and curiosity in our spiritual exploration. Powerful saying. Powerful saying. That's very powerful for people who really understand and understand what's going on in their life and how to use it appropriately, especially in the words, like I said, I don't know. I'm going to keep that in my field here and share that. The first part of it, like I said, the first part of it, boom, put that dot there, boom. The second part of it, I got to share the second part too. What's the second part? Boom, boom. Where is it at? Put the second part also. Copy. And let me go in here and copy. All right. I see that and curiosity. Hold on one second. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that everything is. Let me get that out of there because I want to make sure I keep on showing those different meanings during this presentation. I want to make sure I have those different meanings during this presentation. So I'm copying and pasting certain things. So be patient, my family, be patient. Boom. So, as you see right here, in a spiritual journey, I don't know can be a powerful mantra, especially for those who are trying to let go of the need to know everything. In the Pythagorean system, I don't know adds up to a number 44. And in certain systems of numerology, remember the number 4 and the doubling of it deals with dedication. It deals with a building factor of how you need to build on what you don't know. Because if what you don't know or I don't know is stimulating you to want to build on the knowledge and helping you to go and research the knowledge, the number 44 is a good thing because that's a high vibrational number that stimulates that you must learn to trust in the universe and allow yourself to learn because you don't know at that particular time. I remember the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, be easy with people that don't know because it was one time that you didn't know either. Be respectful of people that don't know. From children to elders, be respectful of people that don't know because there was one time when you were saying, I don't know, until you got that book, or until you got that lesson, until you took that school, you took that course, whatever. At one time you did not know. One time I did not know. So that's why in a spiritual journey, I don't know can be a powerful mantra, especially for those who are trying to let go of the need to know everything. So young people, don't try to know everything because you will never know everything. As soon as you think you know everything. And that was one of the problems I had with Imam Isa, Dr. York. To a certain extent, I respected the knowledge he did know. But I also respected that he was willing to send out research team so he would know, although you would not know everything. Dr. York used to have classes where he would answer all your questions, but because he studied psychology and he know that the psychology of people was based on focus on religion, if God is black, if Jesus is black, if this was black. He even said that. He said that in a class one time at the Hall of Knowledge. The question was asked, how come he don't teach about, this is Dr. York, Imam Isa, when I was there in 1980s. The question I remember was asked, why he doesn't teach about real estate, property ownership. I remember that question. I forgot who it came from because I remember the brother that asked the question at the Hall of Knowledge back in the 80s. And he said, because our people are so inundated with Christ and black God and black Jesus and black Moses and black, nobody never asked at the classes. Nobody never asked him about that. Think about this. Dr. York, Imam Isa, aka Imam Isa, aka so many other names. That's why they called him Psycho back in his gang days. They used to call him Psycho. That was one of his names. And there's no disrespect to Dr. York never did anything to me. Whatever happened after I left, I don't know what happened. But respect to those that feel that certain things happen. But he said nobody asked him the question. But think about this. So Dr. York was not one to say, I don't know. That's one thing I know for a fact, because he was not one to say, I don't know, but he was also willing to go out there and send people, his wife, friends, community members, to go and learn for himself. and then take on that information and make it a part of his knowing and not the I don't know, because the next time you ask him that question, he's not going to be thrown off. That's how he was. Big up to him, born June the 26th, 1945. Some people say 1935, whatever. It's the difference between 10 years. But think about this. This man owned 10 blocks of property, and he owned land upstate New York called Jeze Abba. And then he owned land and was working on land down there in Georgia, in Eatonton, Georgia. But no one wants to ask about real estate? That don't make sense. How to own property for yourself. And I think if everybody was taught that in the Ansar days, me included, we could have helped contribute to the building of that whole neighborhood on Bushwick. We could have had, he could have sent us out and had us own this and own that and own this and own that. Later on, I think they probably tried to do it. But back in those days, he said we was just asking about religion. And that was the issue. That was the issue. But we got to remember, I don't know is a powerful mathematical frequency of the 44. This is the year of the 44 or the 8. And 8 has karmic values connected to it. So what goes around comes around. And just because you don't know, it's going to have to come around with information again that will help you to know next time. Because knowing is important. And since we're in the age of knowing, we're in the age of Aquarius, misnomer the Aquarius, we're in the age of knowing. Of course, I don't know might be upsetting to somebody's negative portion of their ego. Brother Polite tried that same thing, like he knows everything. But he was willing also to send out people or go himself and study. He took the playbook of Dr. York to go and study and learn from himself. That's why anything you ask Polite, he'll throw it. And then when he wanted it, now he made sense. He went into real estate and understood real estate. He understood tax and auctions and all that kind of stuff. Whether he was fraudulent with it or not, it stimulated the people that listen to people like Polite to want to go and get property and learn more about property ownership or auctions and all of that. Because there's some people that stemmed off of that and still bought property, even if they got slighted by Polite or went through certain things. I know personally that I was on the phone when people would accuse Polite of this. He would put me on the phone secretly and let him know to make sure that he gave back the money. And people, this is how interesting those phone calls was. And I've been on like 3 or 4 calls. And I remember, because people used to call me and I used to call him, because I'm not going on YouTube to talk about another man or argue about another man. That's not manly. I don't do that. I'll call the person directly and ask them, yo, what's up with this person? Why you ain't doing this with their money? Boom, 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 back. That's how I am. I'm not doing this YouTube attack on people. This is this new wave. I called Polite. He said, I'm going to return the money because those people couldn't be patient. And sure enough, when I listened to the conversation, it was misunderstanding, yes. Money was going on been transaction. He was helping certain things, but because they wasn't patient, microwave society, boom, Polite returned the money. Yo, Dr. Phil Valentine called me and said one of his students got taken with Polite, and I called Polite again, had him and Dr. Valentine on the line, made sure Polite returned that person's money. What happened with him? From my perspective, what happened with Brother Polite from my perspective when it came to real estate and all that, if you have a mom and pop shop, he just have him and his wife doing the work at that time, him and his wives doing the work. But if you have a mom and pop shop and you're trying to do major business, you can't bring major business energy into a mom and pop shop unless you're willing to expand. And that was in the early parts of what he was doing. So if he was doing any scandalous stuff and all that, I didn't know, because every time I called him to resolve it, he resolved it with the person. That's one thing I do know. I don't care what nobody says. I know that anything else, what he did after he went to Hollywood and did his stuff, that's his business. But I know I tried to resolve, even with Oh God, ask Doggy Diamonds. Doggy Diamonds called me to resolve something with Oh God, the late great Oh God, because I know he just transitioned. And I called Polite to make it happen also. So I wasn't afraid to call Polite and tell him, yo, what's going on? Are you handling money well? What's going on with you, bro? Come on, come on, take care of this man. You know, and ask Doggy Diamond. Doggy Diamond will tell you, we called him, he called me, I called him, and I say, y'all, let's resolve this. Let's get this resolved. Because maybe there's a misunderstanding, maybe it's miscommunication. Whatever happened, it is what it is. But I don't go online talking mess to people. I don't have to do that. That is not my spirit. I am going to approach you man on man, mano a mano. Call you on the phone like a grown man supposed to do. I don't know what these children are doing today. Respect to you young people that are doing, but I'm telling you, family, there's nothing better than being able to go man to man, look a man in his eyes and say, yo, this is what it is. You didn't know. Now I know. And now I need to make sure you handle your I don't know or your knowing business. You know what I'm saying? So getting back to the point. King. Grown man-ish. That's what we got to do. Grown man stuff, grown women stuff. I'm not into the gossip and all that kind of stuff. I thought, I might listen to what one of my friends or girlfriends, they talking about their friend or talking about somebody. I might listen to it and I give them suggestions what they need to do to heal that or keep it moving. But I ain't into that online garbage and arguing and going on your YouTube channel to argue about me and talk about me. And people might do that, but the words I don't know is important. And most leaders that don't want to lose followers will never say, I don't know. Most leaders who don't want to lose followers, and I don't want nobody to follow me. I'm not your leader. I'm the leader of myself. And if my leadership of myself helps you to gravitate to me so you can be a leader of yourself, then do the damn thing. Be your own leader. I ain't got no time being your leader. I'm not doing that. I've been in all of them organizations. I ain't doing that no more. The most organization that I'm with now is my organs organized doing what it does throughout my body. That's the organization that I'm a part of, period. And anything that my family wants to do and all that, because we got to take care of family first. Because I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I don't know. I'm just trying to leave the crumbs for them to keep it moving through numerovation, to keep them guided. And remember the words, I don't know. It's a reminder of the uncertainty and the unpredictability of life. So when a leader or a person can realize they don't know, that means they're being reminded of the uncertainty and the unpredictability of life and the vastness of the universe that is beyond our comprehension. Because sometimes what we are espousing to be in this connection to the universe, some of us don't even understand the elements that we're connected to. Some of us don't even know what carbon or hydrogen or atoms are, the basics of that. Big up to the physicists that do know it, but most of us don't know. We like to spit it out. Yeah, we connected to the universe. We universal this, we universal that, we universal soul. We universal soul people. Yes. And all of that can be true. But if you don't know, the don't know is giving you that 44 energy, giving you the willingness to go and lay the foundation to learn so you don't develop any type of negative karma, but create a positive karma, because 8 is a karmic number of old soul, old information, either coming back to heal you or coming back to haunt you. So when you don't know and you're willing to know, now you're going to be healed from not knowing. But in the vowels of the word in the Pythagorean system, it adds up to 21, which is a 3. So the word I don't know needs to be expressed when you don't know, because 3 is a number of expression and expansion and growth. Because in your not knowing, it allows you to recognize beyond what you're knowing and willing to know at that particular time. And when you're willing to know something at that particular time, like it says, it can also be a call to embrace humility, openness, and curiosity in our spiritual exploration. In our journey of spirituality, when you don't know, it opens you up to say, I'm going to go get this book to learn this perspective, or I'm going to do a nature walk to learn this perspective. I'm going to do some meditation to get this perspective. I'm going to go to the library to get this perspective. I'm going to Google up to get this perspective. I'm going to cross-reference to get this perspective. Because you don't know, you want to learn. And because 3 is the expressive number, 21 is the number of initiation. So in order for you to know, after you don't know, you need to be initiated into the knowledge. So you will know and not, I don't know anymore for that particular subject. And you have to bring the compassion and creativity in order for you to drive the knowing to you in a better, productive manner. Woo! And that's just the Pythagorean system. The consonants, the D, the N, the T, the N, the K, the N, and the W adds up to 23. 23 is the royal star of the lion and lioness. So the word I don't know awakens the royal star and the lion of the lioness for you to ferociously go and get it. Because the 5 is dealing with flexibility, adaptability, and the willingness to attract information to you. Because 5 are known as the jack of all trade, master of none, but it's better than master in one. So when you don't know and you're constantly researching and studying to know, that means you want to know. You want to get out of the I don't know, especially when you have that 5 energy around you. But you got to bring compassion and expression and be willing to expand. This is just a Pythagorean. I didn't even go to the Chaldean yet. If you understand what I'm saying, put a number 1 in the chat. If you understand what I'm saying, put a number 1 in the chat. If you understand what I'm saying, put a number 1 in the chat. I don't know what fuels a comment that it could come around 100 years later. I don't know. I'm not gonna, but if I decide to go and study it, then I will go and study the scientific cross-reference peer review of it. Because remember, our ancestors passed this stuff down generation to generation. That's why we know what a procession is. That's why we know what an eon is. That's why we know what years are. They have a whole class of people that's dedicated to do just that, to find out what that is. That's what the planetariums are all about. That's what these scientific laboratories are all about. This is what the aeronautics and NASA is all about. And sometimes they got their own agendas. We got to be very careful of their agendas. Sometimes we got to go back to the purity of the Dogons, purity of the people of Mali, the people of Songhai, the people of Mexico. We got to go back to the purity of how they learned how to find out those things about the connection with the universe. We got to go back to that purity, because the people of NASA and all those scientists were studying them, because they gave the blueprint without a lot of this so-called technology, because they had ancient technology and not just modern technology. And the ancient technology was still connected to numbers and the mathematics, because they understood mathematical equation. Fibonacci was not the inventor of the Fibonacci system. He studied with those melanated people that they call Arabs or Moors, and those were the people that found the Fibonacci system, or the Fibonacci sequence that was already here, whether it's through Sankofa, whether it's through other patterns on turtles and bees and all of that. Because there's a pattern on a bee, a pattern on a spider, there's a pattern on a snake. There's patterns. Those are sequences on each and every one of those entities. So when Europeans or Indians or Chinese or us as melanated people don't know something, we're willing to study. That's why we watch nature channels. They have somebody behind the camera, and the lion is about to hunt for his prey. And of course, the lion is sniffing out the area, and they're there with a lion taking pictures. We ain't doing that now. We used to do that, but we wasn't taking pictures. We was trying to relate and connect with the ecosystem of nature. You know, the guy that used to go underwater and then got killed by a stingray later on. This stingray is his inhabitants of the stingray and all the things and the way he eats and all that. They following these things around until one day the stingray kills him, or one of those things. You know, I forgot his name, but was it Jacques Rousseau? No, it wasn't Jacques Rousseau. It was another guy. But Jacques Rousseau is also a part of that. Every time you go into the Discovery Channel, it's because they don't know. That's why they want to discover. The Discovery Channel and Ancient Alien is all about not knowing. I don't know, so I need to go learn. That's what those channels are about. PBS, all of that. Because I don't know, let me hypothesize and bring the theories about all of it together and then bring out the I don't know so we can know from our hypothetical theorem or theory. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Y'all see where I'm coming from? Y'all see where I'm coming from? It's real talk. Real talk. I don't know. I don't know. Look what you've done to me. So, in the Chaldean system, interesting enough, in the Chaldean system, the number 41 shows up as the expression of all of this word. The vowels of the word, the vowels, the A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y add up to the number 15, which is a 6, educational now. The inner meaning of the I don't know saying or phrase leads to the number 6, which is an educational number. Creatively and also expansively, and using your freedom to get it. The number 6 is about educating yourself so you don't know. So it leads to what you need to do. It's telling you what you need to do in the mathematics of this stuff. It's telling you. It's in remember the number 5 is a number of exploration and exploring and adventure and taking risks. So if you don't know, you got to take the risk to go and find out. If you don't know, you got to take the risk to go find out. Back in the day, we had to submit our library cards. We had to submit our driver's license. We had to submit our ID to go and get information because we didn't know or I didn't know. Phil Valentine talked about it. Dr. Blair talked about it. Always about because you didn't know. We had to go and educate ourselves. We had to adapt and go into certain places. We had to go into certain foundations to go and get it, like libraries or certain places of studies or that deals with errors and all that kind of stuff in history. Go to the Schomburg's library. All of that we had to do. And do the research. Go to the micro disc of this year and this time and all that so we would know because we didn't know. At that time, I didn't know or you didn't know. So that's why you have to take the time out to go and educate yourself from that number 6. The number 41 deals with foundation and creativity. So laying a foundation to know because you don't know is very important. And because 4 and 1 equals that 5, 5 says to adapt. Be willing to be open. Be free of your mind so you can be open to the knowledge, not just from a physical perspective, but from an emotional, spiritual, physical and mental perspective. You got to be able to allow the knowledge to come to you if you don't know. So yes, I could say, I don't know how many hair follicles are in my head. But if I was willing to go and do the research, maybe lock myself into a computer and let them count all of the hair follicles in my head, now I'll know how many hair follicles is on my body or on my head. Now we have the age of knowing. 44, powerful because this is the age of Aquarius, and the number, the sign of Aquarius, misnomer Aquarius, is connected to the number 4 and the number 8, as well as the number 1. But the 4 and the 8, Uranus, Saturn. Remember, Aquarius and Capricorn used to share the same planet until Uranus was found, which is connected to the number 4. So we're in the age of Aquarius. So you don't have no excuse not to know in this age. That's why I understand why Dr. York was always a man that, if you listen to the tapes back in the day, it was called True Light cassettes. If you listen back to those True Light cassettes, Suleiman, the security of the Mujahid, was opening up the voice and come and meet the man that can answer all your questions and about all the prophets and all of this and all that. He was saying that. He was saying that on the opening of the cassette. Here he is, As-Sayyid al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi. And everybody applauded. They had the applaud button. They had it going on the cassette. I still have the cassettes. And I find it so amusing, but still very important because it was a man that, like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, he didn't know. And so Master Farad Muhammad came and taught him so he would know. That's what it's all about with all of these leaders. But The difference between the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister the Ansar Allah Communities leader is that he would tell us to go and get a business, start the business, start land, own property, and all that for yourselves, because it was a do for self program. And we thought in the community that it was a do for self program, but we had a do for self mentality in that community setting, but we was doing for self to help the greater community and not help our children that might be out in the street or our family that might be on it, because a lot of us left our families and went into these communities, left our mothers and fathers and went into this community. I did. I left my mother's house, went to Jamaica for a thing until I was 18. Boom, came back to America. I'm old enough to leave and go into that community. I moved into that community back in 1985. I remember it all. That's why the autobiography is going to be good. When the late bell rang. When the late bell rang. And the consonants of the words I don't know adds up to a number 27, which is a 9. And in numerology, the number 27 is an intuitive number. It's something that opens you up to your intuition so you can download or upload what you need so you can finish what you start. So when you say, I don't know, and you really want to creatively find out what you want to know, then you'll do the creative aspect, you do the download, you pay attention to your insight, your intuition, to where you want to go in the library, what you want to do, which park I might want to go to learn about this, wherever you want to go. That's an intuitive outer aspect of the words, I don't know. So I'm trying to show you how to read the numbers, even in phrases, sayings, words, your names. And that's why the book that I wrote was very important for that, because I let you know that those numbers and letters are all connected to symbols. It's all symbolism. And if we learn predominantly through symbolism, repetition, and traumas, if that's the predominant way we learn, and according to certain metaphysical teachers, then the symbolism of numbers that I pointed out from the letters is important, so you can learn that you don't have to stay in the I don't know concept and principle, but be willing to be your greatest self by learning how to know. Because again, in a spiritual journey, I don't know can be a powerful mantra, especially for those who are trying to let go of the need to know everything. So sometimes you got to let go in order for it to come. You could be in a mass problem, a mass situation. All of a sudden, sometimes we just gotta, like most scientists, like I used to read about Nikola Tesla. Y'all think I be joking. I got the whole biography of Nikola Tesla, and I have his autobiography. But people like him, when they couldn't figure out something that they wanted to know, they would just do something else or go to sleep. And then by the time they get up, by tapping into that intuitive world or that energetic spirit world, by the time they got up, they knew. They knew what to do now. Now it's time to do this. I got to do this. Let me add this formula. Let me do that. Yes, I study. And then I take this and make it a part of my numerovational perspective. Nikola Tesla, born on the 10th of July. Very intuitive person, especially if you're born under that sign of Cancer. That's a very intuitive number, a very intuitive sign, because it's a water sign. And like I said, I got his autobiography too. Not a long read. His autobiography too of Nikola Tesla and his invention. And he speaks about that when he speaks about going in and out of those realms through his sleep and all that, and have to come back with ideals in his thought patterns. Just saying, we got to pay attention to what the maverick scientists did. Because most of the downloads and uploads that the Dogons had, it was through spiritual principles that they was able to recognize Orion and all these other things. They might not have called it Orion. That's not even a Dogon word. But they might have but if they drew it on the wall, they drew it on the floor, they obviously made a connection. that will allow you. That's why I said I don't know can be a powerful mantra, especially for those who are trying to let go of the need of knowing everything. And then it goes on to say it's a reminder of the uncertainties and unpredictability of life and the vastness of the universe that is beyond our comprehension. So some things you can comprehend, some things you will never comprehend in this lifetime at all. And then it goes on to say it can also be a call to embrace humanity's openness and curiosity in our spiritual explanation. So it's not just spiritual, because everything that's spiritual, there's a physical component behind it also. Something is happening somewhere in the multiverse. So it's all right to say, I don't know, family. It's all right to say, I don't know. And then don't stay in the I don't know. Be willing to open up to the master frequency of the I don't know, which is the 8. Be willing to open up to the 23 and be flexible and be that royal star of this research of numbers and going in and become a ferocious researcher so you can know. It's all right to be initiated by the number 21 so you can be initiated to who you are and what you are by knowing after you went through the I don't know phase. And then the 3 deals with you can express it after you learn to know. Now you're expressing what you didn't know, and now you know you're expressing yourself. And it's educational because it becomes education to you and education to who you want to share it with. And then it also becomes with the 41. Let me show you what she says about the number 41 in her book. The 41 says it's an opening and a flexible approach to life. So the words I don't know is an opening and a flexible approach to life. So this opens you up to flexibility and open you up to more information because the word know is there. From knowing, from knowledge. It's there for a reason. I don't know. But it's telling you you're opening up yourself, being flexible so you want to know. Giving you the ability to bounce back quickly from challenges or for the challenge to know. As a numerovational perspective, I'm coming from different perspectives. I don't care. But that 44 is also letting us know to dedicate ourselves. So when you go to Ruth Dreher's book, she'll tell you that the number 44, from her perspective, number 44 in her perspective is the number of dedicated workers. Dedicated, establishing a balanced world built on a solid foundation of God's law. So in order for you to, if you want to stay in the I don't know principle or the I don't know phase, when you can come out of it because the 44 is allowing you to build out of it and galvanize some of that old energy because these are old soul numbers, old energy numbers. It represents ancient. So if you want to study and know certain things, you got to go back to the ancient. So you won't, I don't know. You won't say, I don't know, because now you know, because you're willing to study and dig and cross-reference and research. On that note, family, whew, I hope everybody enjoyed what I shared. I hope everybody enjoyed what I shared. It was draining, but it was a healthy draining to me. It was draining, but it was a healthy draining to me. Let me play my meditation music on the background. You know what I'm saying? It was a healthy draining. I can actually say that. And remember, make sure you go to that website that I shared with you if you want to read more about that spiritual meaning of the I don't know, the many meanings of I don't know. If you want to read about it, you can go to that website right there. They give some good information. They give some good information. I respect their information. You know, but you can read on what the person is trying to relate to you about releasing and relaxing the mind, humility and living, claiming your knowing, allowing your knowing, emerge, allowing your knowing to emerge, the balance of the known and the unknown, because that's where the 44 lies right there, the balance of the unknown and the known. So I hope we enjoyed everything that I shared with you. I hope you allow and, really respect. Be willing to share this with other people, family. Be willing to share this with other people. Be willing to share this with other people. Be willing to share this with other people. You can take a snapshot of the website if you want. Take a snapshot of the website if you want. If you want to go read it for yourself, instead of not knowing, you might as well know. Take a snapshot of the website right there. spiritualawakeningprocess.com/2011/10/ the many meanings of I don't know. HTML. It's a good read. It's a good read. I did it from a numerovational perspective. That's what I did, from a numerovational perspective, using the different nuances of numbers. Somebody might say it differently. You might go to gematria and see it differently, or Kabbalah and see it differently. But you're going to start, you'll see the thread. If you stay on the positive and motivating factor of it, you'll see the thread, what I'm saying. And you'll understand the importance of saying, I don't know. All right. I don't know. And then say, I'm willing to learn. Just always be willing to learn, family. Be willing to learn. Be willing to be open to learn. All right. Remember, family, tomorrow night, I will be on with Billy Carson. And yeah, I'm going to be using this chalkboard in back of me too. Stop playing. I'm going to be using the chalkboard with Billy. I'll be on at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Billy Carson, the Tupac Code with Billy Carson and King Simon on his new YouTube channel dedicated to Tupac's remix. That's the Tupac Remix Vault. So make sure y'all tune into that tomorrow. And then after that, we will be at 8 o'clock on my channel with Elizabeth Carson, the recipe to elevated consciousness with Elizabeth Carson. Do remember, Professor James Smalls is coming in town. Get your tickets if you want to hang out with me, Red Pill, Blue Pill, Professor Smalls, all of us that's going to be there. Destiny Pandavas, Tassili Ma'at will be there. Believe me, that's going to be the public forum. Get your tickets through Linktr.ee/King Simon the Numerator. That's Linktr.ee/King Simon the Numerator. Right there, you can get your tickets. And also for the private event, you can get your tickets through there. Linktree/King Simon the Numerator. That's King Simon the Numerator at Linktree. And if you can't make it in town, you got to pay via PayPal. So text me your full name, text me or put in the email. Put your email in the description or the notes section of PayPal and Cash App, and I will definitely send you the link to the live stream. All right. You remember, I will be in New York. I will be in New York April 13th and April 14th. You can get your tickets through Linktree also. You can get all your tickets through Linktree/King Simon the Numerator. See Professor Smalls. Yes, you can get your tickets also. Let me put that in there. You can get your tickets for all the events in Atlanta and New York through my Linktree and allmylinks.com/King Simon Production. Also, on the 14th, Adara Moselle, Lloyd Strayhorn, Dr. Shakira Moore in Brooklyn, New York. We're going to be there. Brooklyn, New York. We're going to have a fantastic time. And do remember, Rizza Islam is coming to town. You can't go to my Linktree for that. You got to go to Eventbrite, to Nicholas Brooklyn for Eventbrite. Big up to my son and his whole team over there at the Screen Studio, New York City. If you want to get anything done, recording, mixing, mastering, whatever you want, session requests, make sure you go to the website. Big up to Carrie Ann Ingram, my partner on Wednesday from out of Toronto. Hit her up, carrieanningram.com. You can reach to all her websites for her jewelry also. Lloyd Strayhorn, hit him up, lloyd-strayhorn.com, hit him up. If you want to book a session, I'm in April right now. All you have to do, book a session right now, wait patiently. I'm in April right now, 347-496-1022. If you live outside of the United States of America, please use WhatsApp or Signal. All my books are available via Amazon or Linktree/King Simon the Numerator. Audio book is about to be put up there, so look out for that. I'll be promoting that, and the new book is about to come out. Look out for that. Last but not least, Dr. B says, I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection. And I am thankful for my life. And Dr. Delbert Blair said, please, Universal Creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth in your love now. Thank you, Dr. Blair. Thank you, Dr. B. Thank you, all of you, for allowing me to be here with you as I bid you goodbye. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Take care and be your numerovated self. And remember, this has been the Mathematical Live from the Mathematical Universe with King Simon presents the Numerovational perspective of I Don't Know. Please share the Cash App love, PayPal love as you see fit, or just purchase my book or purchase a class, purchase a ticket to an event, whatever. That's how you circulate love to King Simon, by any means and all means necessary. Take care, family. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Peace. Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
King Simon, I love him. He's family, and he has one of the top shows on the Forbidden Knowledge TV network, actually. That's right. So make sure you guys check that out if you haven't.
Yeah, this show is called, it was really based on numerovation. It's a numerology show, and it's called How to Calculate Your Destiny.
Yes.
By King Simon. He's the host of the show. The show has done so well, we're now getting ready to start working on filming season 2. All right, so King Simon, one of the top shows on Forbidden Knowledge TV, streaming TV platform.
The legend Professor James Smalls will be coming to Atlanta, Georgia, April 6th and April 7th with special guests Destiny Pendarvis and Tassili Ma'at. Text me now at 347-496-1022, or you can go to my Linktree at Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. The one, the only Professor James Smalls, as you've seen him on Hidden Colors and all the other documentaries. You want to be there April 6th and April 7th, public and private event with Professor James Smalls.
Eye to eye, heart to heart, each one teach one us. This is Professor Imhotep, the Island Monk, here at Warrior Kido Jiu-Jitsu, Way of the Warrior Spirit. So we're here to go over the rules and try to make that as swift as possible for you guys. So the rules essentially are very few. Number 1 is to follow us on TikTok at the Island Monk, or if you have Instagram, you can follow us at Warrior Temple, Island University, or if you really love us and want to show us support, you can follow us at both. You're going to find the Kata Shodachi, and you're either going to duet us on TikTok or collab with us on Instagram and win 10 tickets for every additional video you do beyond that. So as we say with all the warriors, eye to eye, heart to heart, each one teach one, us.
Hey, this is King Simon, the International Numerovator. Remember, get all my books on Amazon or go to Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. And remember, don't forget to book my sessions at 347-496-1022. Book now. So remember, our job as studiers of these metaphysical, esoteric knowledge is to help enhance people to be better. I, as a numerovator, using the numbers
or quote-unquote numerals and motivation to get people to understand why they need to activate their numbers to be their very best self and maximize it. Because the numerals hold a frequency. And if you're willing to turn up that frequency, then that frequency can help to guide you and navigate you to a higher height that will allow you to spiral to be your best self. We must remember that.